So basically, what is the relation between skeletal system and muscular system? Basically, the muscular system which supports the skeletal system for doing our daily activities. It may be contraction, it may be relaxation, it may be walking, taking an object, okay, anything you want to do, you need the help of muscles. Without the help of muscles, you will not able to lift your hand. Okay. Basically, the muscles which support the skeletal system and the skeletal system which supports the muscles. So both are necessary, okay, for doing any type of work. Okay. So in our body, there are more than 600 muscles. How many muscles? So there are 600 muscles in the human body. Okay, so these muscles are attached to the bones of skeletons by tendons. Okay, so how the muscles are attached? Basically, this is the bone. Okay, so this is the bone. These are the two bones. If these two bones want the movement, this is the joint. Okay, so here we have the tendon and we have the muscle and we have the tendon. So basically, this is the muscle. Okay, this is the muscle. So basically, this is the end part of one muscle. This is the end of the one muscle. So basically, the two bones are attached with the one muscle, and the endings are known as tendons. Okay. So although a few muscles are attached to the undersurface of the skin, so some muscles are there, they are directly attached to our skin. Okay, the primary function of the muscular system is to move the skeleton. I told you that the main function of the muscles to move the skeletal system. Okay, the muscle contraction required for the movement also produce heat, which contributes to the other body system. Directly involved in movement are the nervous, respiratory, and circulatory system. So basically, what need what are the needs of muscular system for the movement? So it needs circulation, blood circulation, because blood have all the types of vitamins, carbohydrates, oxygen, everything. So that is named as circulatory system. And without the help of respiratory system, oxygen cannot enter into the blood system. Circulatory system. So that's the reason respiratory system is necessary. And how the order, from where the order is bypassed. Okay, from the brain, the order is bypassed to the nervous system to the peripheral nervous system to the muscular system. So every muscle is attached by a nervous system, a nerve. Okay, it is attached to a nerve. So by the order of the nerve, the more muscles contract and relax. Okay, contract or relax. So for the relaxation and contraction, they need energy. The energy will be get by our respiratory system. Okay, these are the important things we have to know about that. The nervous system transmit the electrochemical impulse that cause muscle cells to contract. How the muscles contract? By the order of nervous system. So what are the things the nervous system have and in which language they talk each other? So basically the nervous system talk to the muscular system. The language is impulse, electrochemical impulse. So both electrical and chemical, both languages are there between muscle and the nerve. Okay, we have to remember that. Okay, the respiratory system, how the respiratory system helps, I told you that it will give the oxygen into the blood circulatory system and takes carbon dioxide. Okay, so the circulatory system. So whatever the oxygen, whatever the carbohydrates, energies which are present in the blood, we taken to the muscles, required muscles by the help of circulatory system. Okay, so these interaction of body systems are covered in this chapter with focus of skeletal muscles. So basically, in this chapter, we will talk about skeletal system. So, what are those things need help to the working of muscular system? Okay, skeletal muscles. So basically, in our body, there are two types of muscles. What are the muscle types of muscles? We have smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. What are the type of muscles we have? Smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. This type of muscle tissue will be discussed in other chapters in relation to the organs which they are part. Before you continue, you may find it helpful to go back to chart to revise the structure and character of skeletal muscle tissue. So, okay, so you know. So basically, the we talked about muscular system in the muscular tissue in the tissue chapter. So we know that there are four types of tissue. In that we have skeletal muscle tissue. We have smooth muscle and cardiac muscles and skeletal muscles also there. Okay. So now we'll talk about muscular structures. Okay. How the and what are the muscle structures are there? Okay. How the muscles looks like. Okay. All muscle cells are specialized for contraction. So what is the main purpose of the muscles? For contraction. Okay. When these muscles contract, they shorten and pull a bone to produce movement. So whenever a muscle contract, it will pull the bone backward and produce movement. Okay. Kindly look your elbow joint and you have to move front anterior side. So it means that you are pulling the bone anteriorly, so it will contract our muscles which are present in our arm and forearm. Okay, each skeletal muscle is made of thousands of individual muscle cells. So basically, we have three types of muscles: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. So here we are talking about skeletal muscles which are attached to the skeleton. So basically, each muscle have thousands of single muscle cells. Okay, also called fiber muscles. What we call the single muscle name is muscle fibers. Depending on the work of a muscle is required to do variable number of muscle fibers contract. Okay, so depending upon the work, the number of muscles will be contract. Here we have an example that we are picking a pencil. Okay, what will happen? The portion of muscle fibers in each finger muscle will be contract. When you are picking the pencil, okay, what will happening that the muscles which are present inside the finger will contract. Okay, if the muscle has more work to do, such as picking, uh,
Okay, sir.
so basically, whenever according to the work, the muscle works. According to the function we have, the muscles of the body work. Okay, like example, we will pick a pencil. So the muscles of the fingers will move. If we want to pick the book, the muscles of the hand will contract and move more muscles. Okay, so basically, bones, the muscles are attached by the bones with the help of tendons. So it is how it looks like. It looks like rope-like structure. They're flat. Flat tendon is called aponeurosis. Okay, aponeurosis. Tendons are made up of fibrous connective tissue. how the conduct, here we have the thing, the image, no image in there. So I will make arrangement to you to see in this tendon. Let's see the tendon. It is made up of fiber connective tissue. Yeah, here we have the tendon. This is the bone. You're able to see that this is the muscle made up of muscle fiber. This is the tendon. So this is tendon is connected to the bone. Okay, and you can see here in this image also. Here we have the muscle. One tendon is connected to the. This is the humerus bone, fibula. This is the radia ulna bone. Okay, this is the radial bone. Okay, so one tendon is connected to radial bone and one to the humerus bone, head of the humerus, lateral epicondyle of the tibia. So basically, so what will it is doing that it is if contract, if this arm, forearm, this is the forearm, this is the arm, will get nearby the arm. Okay, forearm will get nearby to the arm. Okay, so this is the function. This is the this is very good looking image. Okay, here we have the um, bones, and this is the tendon. This is the muscle. Okay, so basically, it is made up of fibrous connective tissue, very tough and very strong tissue that is called fibrous connective tissue, which you may remember is very strong and merge with the fascia that covers the muscle and with the periosteum. The fibrous connective tissue membrane that covers bone, a muscle usually has at least two tendons, each attached to a different bone. We saw in the image. The more immobile or stationary attachment of the muscle is its origin. The more movable attachment is called insertion. So the muscle itself crosses the joint of the two bones to which is attached, and when the muscle contracts, it pulls its on its insertion and moves the bone in a specific direction. Here in this image, I will show you. Hmm. Here we have the biceps muscle. This is the muscle biceps. Okay. Mm. Here we have the scapula. This is the muscle. This is the insertion. So basically, we have two ends of the muscles. This is the one end, this is the another end. So one end, this is the origin. Here the muscle is going. Okay. So this is insertion here, radius, and the radius bone. So basically, this area is known as origin, and this area is known as insertion. Okay. Here that is the given that origin and insertion. Okay, so basically the contract, the insertion is pull its insertion and moves the bone in specific direction. So basically the muscle where is the origin is, it contract, it doesn't contract here, it contract here. If you move this muscle, your elbow will get here, this region. Okay, so then this insertion part will contract. Okay, you have to try it. Okay, then you will able to understand. Okay, so this is all about muscle structure. So the muscle structure, we have muscle. In that muscle we have tendon which attach two bones together. Okay, and one is origin part and one is insertion part. Okay, these things we have to remember. Next is muscle arrangement. How the muscle is arranged. So basically it is arranged in two directions. Okay. Bring about a variety of movements. The two general types of arrangements are the opposing antagonist and the cooperative synergist. Synergist and antagonist. Basically, what will happen with this example, you will able to understood that basically when this is one example. If we are contracting this is the elbow joint, this is the shoulder joint. We're contracting this. This is the arm. This is the forearm. We are contracting this elbow. So this forearm is coming nearby arm. So what will happen? This muscle is contraction. But here we have the muscles. This muscles also attached to this bones. But this muscle is contracting. So what will happen? This muscle will be relaxing position. Okay, so this muscle is known as synergist muscle and this is antagonist muscle. Means it is the opposite to this muscle. So then only we will able to contract or or bring the muscle together. Okay, first we will talk about antagonist muscle. Antagonist means opposite. Okay, we use the term antagonist muscle of a muscle that have opposing or opposite function. I told you that. Okay, an example will be helpful here. The biceps brachii is the muscle of the front of the upper arm. The origin of the bicep is the scapula. Okay, and the insertion of the radius. Here, insertion is scapula, origin is scapula, and insertion is radius. Okay, recall that when a muscle contracts, it's just short and pull. Muscles cannot push. For when they relax, they exert no force. Therefore, the biceps can bend the elbow but cannot straighten it. Another muscle is needed. The triceps brachii is located on the back of the upper arm. Its origin are on the scapula and humerus, and its insertion on the ulna. When the triceps contracts and pulls, it extends the forearm. The T is straighten the elbow. Here, given that here we have the triceps. This is the triceps. This is the biceps. Okay, when we are extension, this is the extension. This is the contraction. So when it is contracted, we are getting the extension. When it is relaxed, we are getting extension. This is when this muscle is contracted, this muscle is relaxed. Okay, so this is known as antagonist muscle. Okay, joints that are capable of variety of movements have several set of antagonists. Notice how many ways you can move your upper arm at the shoulder. For instance, abducting the arm is functioning of the deltoid, adducting the arm is brought about the pectoris major and latissimus dorsi, flexion of the arm. So basically, so there are number of muscles which are present at the forearm and arm which have both opposite work. Okay, so there's the reason we need proper work to move all the muscles. So if you relax like that, always this muscle is contract position. This muscle is relaxing position. If you put this much stress on the biceps muscles, what will happen? Triceps muscle always in relaxed position. Okay, so you need exercise. Okay, such exercises are designed to stretch and contract the antagonist muscle of a joint to preserve as much muscle function and joint mobility as possible. So basically, we need movement of the muscles basically to get uh, healthy progressions. Okay. And then there are other examples also given in this paragraph. You can go through it. Okay. Next, we will talk about synergistic muscle. What are the synergistic muscles are having same function? and they perform together one function. The same biceps brachii is the forearm. The brachioradialis, which is origin on the humerus and insertion on the radius, also flexes the forearm. There is even a third flexor of the forearm, the brachialis. You may wonder why we need three muscles to perform the same function. Let's see the image. Here we have the brachioradialis. This is the brachioradialis muscle. Basically, it is coming from the humerus and inserted in the uh, radius. Okay, so we need you have this another muscles. This is the no. So basically, you have three muscles at the brachialis, brachioradialis, or biceps muscles. Okay, the brachialis, biceps. So you need three muscles to contract this forearm. So with these three muscles will work together to perform contraction of the arm. Okay, so this is the thing we have to remember. So basically, these are other examples also given. Okay, so why three muscles are given? Because if you want stability, example, we are holding a heavy weight of 5 kgs. Okay, assume that only one muscle is there. So if you want to lift the 5 kgs weight, so think you can think that there is stability. There is no stability. So that's the reason nature give a major major muscles, okay, to make the stability whenever you lift any weight bearing things. Okay, there's the reason in biceps we work with our forearm, arm very violently. Okay, we do lot of works. So there's the reason nature gave us multiple muscles to work with that muscles. Okay, so this is the main thing we have to remember. Next thing is that, so we talked about what is the structure of the muscles and muscle arrangement, how the muscles are arranged. Now, what is the role of the brain? From where the impulses will generate and tell the muscles you have to work. Okay, let's what they think. Let's talk about the role of the brain. Even your simplest movements require the interaction of many muscles, and the contraction of skeletal muscles depend upon the brain. So you need brain to move any single movement. The nerve impulse. So brain have nerves connected, and nerves is connected to the muscles. So the signal is coming from this brain through the help of nerve to the junction of muscles. From which area we are getting the impulse? We are getting the impulse from frontal lobe of the cerebrum. So basically, cerebrum is the area in the brain. We have the brain. We have multiple areas. We will see in the image. So the cerebrum is the part which will generate the impulse to move all these movements. And this is the largest part of the brain. Okay. The motor areas of the frontal lobe generate electrochemical impulse that travel along motor nerve to muscle fiber, causing the muscle fibers to contract. Okay, let's see the brain, cerebrum. This is the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe. So this area is known as cerebrum. You can see here. Okay. So this is the image of the brain. This area is known as cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem, medulla oblongata. Okay. We have other area of the brain. This is called cerebrum. So in the from the cerebrum, we are getting the okay. From the cerebrum, we are getting the impulse to move the movement, even single movement. Okay. From that, this is the let's see one image. This is the pathway. You can see here. This is the pathway. This is the brain. From the cerebrum, we are getting to the spinal cord. So spinal cord, we have the nerves and to the this muscle. Okay. For a movement of to be effective, some muscles must contract while other relax. So we know that okay, some muscle to be contract and some muscle to be relaxed. When walking, for example, antagonist muscle on the front and back of the thigh or lower leg will be alternate their contraction relaxation, and our steps will be smooth and efficient. This is what we call coordination. I do not have to think about making it happen. Coordination takes place below the level of conscious thought and is regulated by cerebellum, which is located below the occipital lobe of the cerebrum. So basically, we need two types of functions while walking. So some muscle to be contract, some muscles to be relax. Okay. So whenever we lift the hand, we lift the leg, we will able to walk. Okay, we are able to walk, we are able to lift the uh, leg. What will happen that some muscles to be contract, some muscles to be relaxed. So which part of the brain will make that we have to contract and relax? So basically this is the cerebellum. Cerebellum have the capacity to take the contraction and relaxation. This is our brain. We have cerebellum. This is the part of the brain which make coordination. Whenever we walk, whenever we have to lift the, whenever we are lifting the our legs, coordination of the muscle is depend upon cerebellum. Cerebrum do the muscle contraction and relaxation. So if any problem occurs in cerebrum, what will happen? The muscle contraction, relaxation will not happen. If happen, there is poor contraction, poor relaxation. Okay. So if the problem occurs in cerebellum, what will happen that there is no coordination. The patient able to lift his hand and leg, but when he want to take the steps forward, he will fell down at right side or left side. Okay. So these are the things happen if any injury or any damage occur to the brain part. Okay. So we talked about lot of things today about the muscular system. Okay. And we'll talk about muscle tone and exercise and other things in coming classes. So we'll conclude our class here only. If any doubts, kindly ask.